the average income for Zanzibaris is less than $1 a day, and the cycle of poverty is difficult to break. Positive changes, however, can be seen in almost all areas of life. Over the past 10 years, the quality of life has significantly improved. One sector of Zanzibar's economy experiencing an exceptional upturn is tourism. Tourism has enabled many to earn a living, bringing hope and opportunities to the local population.
The only industry that people depend on to sustain their life is tourism. Because in terms of all businesses like fishermen, farmers, they depend on tourism to get, it means that the product sold.
People, they get employed, so there are no idlers on the streets anymore. Guys go to beach, they are beach boys, they get something for themselves. They earn a living through tourism sector. So it's really good. It's really good.
The local community, initially concerned by the growing number of visitors, now accepts tourists and welcomes them with open arms.
No, that's great for the nationality, which is main industry for the Zanzibar, and the main industry for the people of Zanzibar. We do so prouding of these things.
Yeah, I like tourism because my business, I depend for tourism, and there's a lot of tourism.
Mimi naona nzuri kwa sababu sasa hivi tunaona kama ni wenzetu tu wa kawaida. Tofauti na zamani, zamani tulikuwa tunawaogopa, lakini sasa hivi ni wenzetu kama kawaida na marafiki tunao wa kizungu. Kwa hiyo ni vitu vya kawaida tu, waje tu kwa wingi.
Mass tourism arrived in Zanzibar at the start of the 90s. Beach holidays, walks around Stone Town in the footsteps of history, and the hospitable inhabitants attract thousands of tourists each year.
First of all, the forces of globalization cannot be stopped by anyone, because the whole globe has become a village in this globalization process. But secondly, tourism started around 1986, when all the doors were open for the tourism businesses to come into Zanzibar. I must admit that the tourism industry grew faster than the strategic plan that the government had for the tourism industry and how to accommodate it, how to tackle the number of visitors, etc. So when it started, I must admit it blew on the face of Zanzibar and also on the face of government.
It is difficult to precisely assess the effects of global tourism on the local community and the economy, and the way in which tourism helps in the fight against poverty. Tourism, in its present form, is not free from challenges and negative aspects.
If we have mass tourism, well, they have a lot of effects. One is the environment. Environment can be affected in a very bad manner. But secondly, you find even the Zanzibar culture could be affected as well.
At the very heart of the island's heritage is the faith brought to Zanzibar by its early settlers. Islam plays a central role, and some conservatives perceive contemporary Western influences as being destructive to their culture.
Negative impact is, you can see that usually it comes in terms of the society, social life. That life changed because you can see many people that they change their life. Like example, I can give you, people, they wish to go to Europe, they want to be like Europeans and so on and so on. This is the only challenge that I can see.
Now they are more in line, or at least they are trying to imitate the foreign culture in terms of dressing, even talking,
Yes, sometimes it feels like there's a lot of tourists, and we just hope when they come, they don't try to change anything, like westernize the place, westernize the heritages and all of that. But I hope they also, enjoy the experiences here and they always come back.
It's not good for the culture and the tradition of this country. We really have to be very careful about it.
Napenda waje watembee wakae na wananchi, lakini wapate sheria kama mila yetu tunavyofuata, sio kama tena wanakuja kutembea chupi nini maziwa nje.
Some of these tourists, especially female tourists, they parade in the streets almost naked, and you have seen them for yourself, and that's not a good thing for the culture, for the tradition of this country.
They stay naked, but not in the village or not on the streets. They stay naked on the beach, and the beach is free. As long as they don't stay naked in the village or in the streets, that's okay for me, and it's okay for everybody. Beach is free, they can do whatever they want.
Although the cultural costs of tourism can be high, it is generally believed that the cost of keeping tourism out could be even higher.
So what we expect is to have more tourists in order to create more jobs. It will be a job opportunity for locals.
Where we are today, I must say, it is more positive than the negatives. And the negatives, the government is working on it 24 hours a day.
As long as, the more they come, they build, we get employed, we earn something, we get paid, so we earn good money. Not that good, but at least. So we want change. Yeah, for sure, we want change.
Currently, Zanzibar's economy is heavily reliant on tourism, but its benefits do not always reach the local community. Foreign investors have helped Zanzibar become a popular tourist destination, promising economic recovery. In reality, the majority of the money left by tourists goes directly back to the investors, with many tourists staying within the confines of all-inclusive enclaves. Many visitors are on package deal holidays and hardly ever leave the beach. A very small proportion of the money spent in big resorts makes its way back to the local population.
Tourism now contributes almost 28.7% of their total income. That is one of the highest. The rest are smaller ones which follow. But on foreign direct investment, tourism contributes 80.3% of the foreign direct investment in Zanzibar.
The bulk of these earnings will go back to the investors themselves. The Zanzibaris don't benefit much.
The main benefit should come to locals, not to foreigners.
Kwa Zanzibari hawana manufaa. Utalii kwa wageni ndio manufaa.
The majority of food products, especially sold in foreign hotels, is imported.
Zaidi tukizungumzia masuala ya utalii. Watalii sisi hatuna faida nao katika biashara hii kwa sababu ukilinganisha na kwamba watalii kuku wanaouziwa mara nyingi wanakuwa wamefika hoteli, kuku wanaouziwa wako huko hoteli na kuku ambao wananunua watu wa mahoteli. So kuku hawa wetu sisi hapa nyumbani. Sisi kuku tunaouza wa Kiswahili na wa Kizungu ambao ni broiler ambao wamefugwa hapa ndani ya nchi yetu ya Zanzibar. Wananunua kuku kutoka nchi mbali manake kama Brazil pengine na nchi nyingine, kuku ambao wale wanakuja ndani ya boksi. Kwa mnoko kweli sisi masuala ya kuku hawa na utalii kweli ni jambo ambalo gumu sana kwetu sisi. Hatuna faida nao, tunafanya kama mazoea na tunafanya ili mradi tu siku ziende mbele. Manake mtu angalau siku isipite bure, hilo ni jambo ambalo kwetu ni gumu sana sasa. Yaani gumu sana sasa kweli.
It is important to create a link between the tourism sector and other sectors of the economy so that the local population can benefit. Individual hotels are making attempts to engage the local community.
Very, very few people benefit from it. Because, as you said yourselves, everything that tourists need is imported.
We have failed as policymakers to provide a link factor between tourism on the one hand and other sectors of the economy. So for example, we know that tourist hotels require all these products from fruits to vegetables. They also need fish, they need meat. The government should have made sure that there's a link factor between, for example, farming and fishing and livestock keeping, poultry farming, so that these kind of products are provided by Zanzibaris. But this link factor is not there actually.
For example, there is one hotel in Pemba whereby at least they have tried to engage the local population there, whereby they sell vegetables to that hotel, they sell fish to that hotel. So you see there is a direct income to the people.
It is widely believed that the Tanzanian authorities distribute the profits from tourism unevenly. A large majority of the population believes that a reform of the union with mainland Tanzania would be an appropriate solution to a fragile economy. Zanzibaris demand that both governments, those of Tanzania and Zanzibar, enter into talks as soon as possible to establish a fair partnership agreement with an equitable distribution of the profits from tourism.
Kweli wanaingia wageni wengi, lakini mapato hakuna, wala hatusomei kwenye baraza kwamba mapato fulani yameingizwa na watalii tumefika kiwango fulani na kiwango fulani kitatumika kwa wananchi na kiwango fulani kwa ajili ya kunufaisha labda barabara au miundombinu mengine. Hakuna hayo, hatuelezwi, hatuoni, tunaona Wazanzibari wanazalilika tu.
Well, we are happy to receive people from outside, but what the benefit we'll get it, we don't know. Nobody talk about it. Okay. So we need to know what is the income we get it when you come to our country. When I come to your country, I know you get something from us. But what about you when you come to Zanzibar? What we get it in Zanzibar? Yeah. Nobody knows.
Hapa Zanzibar hakuna hata kimoja kinachotumaisha rais. Hakuna. Watalii wanakuja na pesa zote au mapato yote yanamezwa na upande wa pili. Hakuna. Hata kile cha Zanzibar kinachopatikana hakitumiki hapa. Hakuna maana hakuna kabisa. Hakuna manufaa yote. Chote kinabebwa na upande wa pili. Hii ndio tukataka. Hiyo benefit, yani kukusanywa mapato yale yote asubuhi jioni yanasafirishwa. Hapa hatuna kitu.
Zanzibaris worry about the prospects for their youth, particularly given the continuing wave of immigrants seeking employment in the tourism industry. Tourism in Zanzibar is largely reliant on qualified workers from abroad, from mainland Tanzania and Kenya, but also from Europe.
Well, the biggest challenge now, because Zanzibar, it's island, it is very small people, and each day is going, there's a number of the people going big and big and bigger. So it means like a lot of the people who come through to Zanzibar. For example, like people from Tanzania, they come through to Zanzibar. People from Kenya, from Uganda, from all over in East Africa, they come through to Zanzibar, and then in here be reacted like we are Tanzanians. And then you can't tell like you Uganda, you are Kenyans. But if you go through to the hotel, most of the hotel, 5-star hotel, you can see the big management, maybe from Kenya, from Tanzania, and so they collect a lot of staffs from Tanzania. And there's the propaganda, like people of Zanzibar, they don't want to work. They are very lazy. For me, I think that's not true. People of Zanzibar still want to work, but potential to get to work, it is very difficult. It is a big challenge. Most of the people who come to Zanzibar and take over everything.
Tourism offers employment, especially in the hotels. But now look, if you go to many hotels, those who are employed are not Zanzibaris. You see, the people from the mainland, from Kenya.
If you go through to the restaurant in the hotel in Zanzibar, a lot of people, you can see like 80% people from Tanzania and Kenyans.
And you can see they take the job opportunity for Zanzibaris. And Zanzibaris they don't get that opportunity.
We lose that personal touch. Foreigners will never get a chance to meet with the local people, get introduced to the local culture.
Local people, we know everything from Zanzibar. There's a lot of hotels, the guides are from everywhere in the world.
They're not local.
Yeah, not local now. There's a lot of people from India, from Italy, England is making tour everywhere now. People from village now don't have a tours. Only tour within the hotel.
Most of the services are run by the foreigners, and that is even in areas that are prohibited by our laws. So, for example, our laws say it clearly that when it comes to service like tour operators, they should be done by Zanzibaris. But a lot of hotels have business done under the table, actually, in which they sponsor, and they have got their own agents who does tour operators.
The tourism industry lacks local qualified and certified tour guides. The increasingly numerous foreign investors, Hotels and travel agencies do not seek out locals, but look for workers from abroad to ensure a high level of services at an expected standard.
Because we have many people that have lack of experience, lack of information, that they don't do the job properly according to what people expect.
We need to train more tour guides. Our tour guides need to be more professional, because we have 50% of our tour guides are not professional tour guides. They've not gone to study. They don't have a diploma or certificate in tour guide. And that's why you can also create problems, because false information can be given to a tourist. And some of the tourists are highly informed about Zanzibar, highly informed about the history of Zanzibar, highly informed about our culture, our heritage, etc.
The only challenge is if we have quality staff in Zanzibar, that will be the only resistance to those staff from outside.
The tourists here could be better, as it were, informed. I think one of the key problems here is that people come to Zanzibar because it's a famous place, but actually they just go on the beaches and sun and swim and things. And then they maybe come to Stone Town for a few hours, but they really aren't understand the history and the heritage. And I think a lot more could be done to promote the history and heritage of Zanzibar and actually improve the quality of the tourism.
The service they provide is really not to the standard of their companies. That is the reality. So I can advise them that they should make sure that each and everything is organized properly. I give you an example that because I swim and I deal with lots of means I provide tours. It means in the ocean, like snorkeling, swimming with dolphins, and you can find that all of tour companies in Zanzibar, they send tour guides to the ocean with clients at the time that they can't help even themselves in the ocean, and they do that every single day, and I can see it. I see it every single day.
We need to educate our people something about tourism. They lack this knowledge. They don't know what tourism is. Secondly, infrastructure. This is a second major problem in Zanzibar. We have poor roads. We need good roads. Yeah. For instance, our road coming to Jambiani is not really good. Yeah, not really good. So we need infrastructure and education.
At a basic level, education is free for all children in Zanzibar. The cost of higher education, however, is very high. Many can't afford to go to university, and many children decide to leave education at a young age to work on the beaches. Many sell souvenirs or take tourists on trips, tours, and excursions.
There is impact on children, directly on children, because most of the children, especially in the East Coast and North Coast, don't go to school. So they are moving out of education. So these school children now have been attracted to the tourism industry because they can make money for the tourists. They can go fishing and sell fish at a higher price, etc., because of the consumption done by the tourism or created by the tourism industry. So they miss out the school, and government is working very hard to return these children to school.
It is widely recognised that education is a key factor in providing qualified workers to the tourism sector. We can identify in this area positive signs of change.
So before we had just one university, now we have 4 universities. So education system now, Zanzibar also going better. So most of the people, the number of the people who speak English, it's going bigger and bigger and bigger. So the tourists, which is the main industry in Zanzibar, we've got some of the university, also they've got special classes for the tourisms, like tour operators, tour guides, and other tourism sectors also. So which is mean we've got a lot of people now be wake-ups, so go also to the tourisms.
The local people should be the hosts, and they should be in a position to keep up with the growth in this industry so that they can go to school, get the necessary training, and be part of the management teams that run this industry. We don't need to build a situation here where the tourists come in, they enjoy themselves, and the locals are turned into waiters and waitresses.
Our president, through his directives, Dr. Ali Mohammed Shein, this year has invested the highest budget ever in the history of Zanzibar, which is over 200 billion shillings into education. So slowly, through the Zanzibarization program, Zanzibari taking key jobs, key positions, and the graduates coming out very soon, because we have almost 2,800 graduates a year. This is number one. Number two, hotel management and hospitality industry. We need to do more training, and that's why the former president, through his initiative, opened up the first college, which the current president has joined it together with the university. It was a college for hospitality and hotel management. Now it is joined as part of the State University of Zanzibar. And training is very important, especially also on-the-job training. And that's why we have forced now some of the hotels to take students, and I'm glad they are cooperating very well, that every year, every hotel is taking students for field work to do their placement in order for them to get hands-on and experience.
Furthermore, conservation projects are being implemented and long-awaited renovations are being carried out on many historical buildings.
If you see, we are repairing our famous, iconic building, the House of Wonder, okay, Bet Lajaib. It's popularly known as Bet Lajaib. UNESCO, there's a regulation. You cannot expand everything. You cannot dig around holes here in the Stone Town, etc., because all the properties, all the assets in Stone Town have to be preserved according to the conservation law.
I've got some historical site building which was very important, and I've seen it has been collapsed for like 3 years ago, and they had no dream with the building to be restored. There were 2 buildings. One is called Palace Museum, the oldest one, which is built in 1830 by the Sultan Said Said, and the second one, it was called House of Wonder, was built by the Sultan Barhash on 1886. So I'm happy, the boss building now, which is restored. So now starting by the House of Wonder, and the second, it will be finished by the Palace Museum.
Revenue from tourism has helped to improve many aspects to the quality of local life. Tourism has brought hope for a better future and a way to escape poverty. Zanzibaris are enthusiastic about the changes that tourism can bring and look to the future with optimism.
Zanzibar as a name is a marketable name, is a brand name by itself. It's a very popular destination with what we have here: culture, identity, the food, the heritage surrounding us, the people, the kindness, the peace and tranquility. These are all factors contributing on attraction of tourism. I'm not even mentioning the natural flora and fauna, including the best beaches in the world. And on top of that, we have a very unique heritage site. You cannot find such a stone town, such a UNESCO renowned and recognized World Heritage Site anywhere in the world as unique as House of Wonder and the old fort and the buildings around it. That's where we, the new generation of Zanzibaris, are here today, and we are very proud with our Zanzibari. Every Zanzibari, you name it, wherever they are from, they are very proud.
I'm really happy because Zanzibar, it's a unique island in East Africa. We've got the best beach, we've got a lot of historical sites inside here, we've got the spices, we've got the monkeys, which is red calabash monkey. It's a unique, Stone Town, it's a World Heritage Site in East Africa, it's unique, all the town. So I'm really proud of the President of Zanzibar and the ministers. So that now they fix our building, so we are really happy. I'm a heritage guide. So my job as a heritage guide, I'll take people, show them around in historical sites, all the buildings. Happy for that. Really proud. Yeah, happy.
We have to come together as one, like Zanzibaris. We have resources, and the tourism in Zanzibar is really good. So we just have to go to school, we have to learn, we have to get more education about tourism, and we are going to gain a lot from tourism sector. So we have to work hard, we have to go to school, we have to study hard, and everything's going to be perfect.